Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Joseph Gabbarian with us, and he's out of NEI's LA office. He has a very intriguing story of coming from Iran to the US, and then getting into commercial real estate. So Joe, you prefer to use Joe than Joseph. It's great to have you on, and I'd just love to hear your history of how you got from Iran to Canada to New York and so forth.
Yeah. I was obviously born and raised in Iran. I was 24 years old before I left. This is before the revolution. I finished my college, got my bachelor's in electrical engineering, did 2 years of military service, and then I left, went to Montreal, went to McGill, got my master's in engineering. And then by that time, I decided I didn't really want to go back to Iran anymore. I could see trouble on the horizon. This was like 77 or so. So I went to New York. My family had already left Iran. So we all gathered in New York. I stayed there for a year. I didn't like New York at all. I had friends that I had grown up with who were living in Denver. So I moved to Denver and went to Denver University, got my MBA in real estate based on recommendations from some friends. And I started my career in 1978 when I got my first license in Denver. In 1980, I got my MBA in real estate, and I also got a CCIM designation the same year. And I worked for a company called More Commercial for a few years, and then I went on my own, had my own one-man show for a few years. I got married in Denver, had my first child in Denver. My wife was from LA, and we didn't have any family there, so we were going to move either to LA or to New York. And I'd had it with cold winters, so we decided to Los Angeles, and back to New York. And I came here. I joined Gabbarian in 1989. I was with them for 23 years, right before they declared bankruptcy and got taken over by another company. I joined Avison Young as a principal. We basically started the LA office of Gabbarian, which is based in Toronto, actually. And I was with them for 5 years. I had a 5-year contract with them. So at the end of that, I left Avison Young, joined NAI Capital in 2017. And I've been with them ever since for the past 7.5 years. So that's the trajectory of my real estate career.
So it sounds like you've done thousands and thousands of transactions over this career.
Yes, I have. I do sale and leasing of both office and retail properties. When people ask me what I do, I say I do everything except apartments. I don't do apartments, although I've sold a couple here and there, but I don't pursue apartment deals. I don't do apartment deals, but I do everything else. I sell development land. I do sale and leasing of office and retail properties, and I represent both landlords and tenants, buyers and sellers. So yes, I have done a lot of deals. I've been a top producer in most of the companies that I've been with. I have a box load of these plaques that they give you when you do something nice and make money. Actually, when I left Avison Young to come here, I threw away that box. I just got tired of it. It didn't mean anything anymore. But yeah, it's been a good career.
Yeah. Oh well. And so at this stage in your career, how are you marketing? Just word of mouth?
No, I use I don't use social media per se. I use obviously CoStar and LoopNet. These are, you know, like the MLS of commercial real estate.
Right.
I do CoStar and LoopNet and Crexi and AIR CRE and a couple of other ones to market my listings, and then also do use the same platforms to find either space for lease or properties for sale for the tenants and buyers that I represent.
But in this stage of your career, you're not cold calling every day. I don't think.
I do actually. I don't call them cold calling. I call them warm calling. I have a list of I have a database of property owners and investors, and I do call, spend about half an hour to an hour every day warm calling, those prospects and stay in touch with them. And one of the main sources of my marketing myself has been a newsletter that I publish every quarter. And I have published it consistently for the past 35 years in LA. I do it every quarter. It's called the Quad City Report. And it contains information about sales of importance, legislative things that affect real estate, and statistics about the office market and the retail market, vacancies, absorptions, things of that nature on a quarterly basis that I either email to some of my customers, and I have to admit I still use snail mail also to send actual hard copies of it to quite a few of my clients.
That's impressive. Well, it obviously is still working. So you haven't decided to retire yet, it sounds like.
Even if I wanted to, my kids won't let me become empty nester. So yeah, I'm still working, and I'm people have called me this. I'm a workaholic. I don't know what to do with myself. I tell people a prerequisite for being able to retire is being able to play golf, because that's the only thing that you can spend 8 hours a day, doing and not getting bored. I don't play golf, so I can't retire. I don't know what to do with myself if I retire. So
I think you and I are in the same boat. We don't like golf all that well, and I'm sure we have some family commitments that take up time, but we still like to work.
I enjoy my work. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy the people that I work with. We just got back from lunch with 5 of us. So yeah, during the COVID, I obviously stayed home like everybody else. But since about maybe a few months ago, or maybe about a year ago, I decided to come from the first of this year, I decided to come to work every day. So I'm coming to the office every day, almost.
So can you tell us a little bit about some of your wilder transactions over the years?
Wilder transactions. Wow. But this is something interesting. There is when I first came here in 1989, there was an office building that was built in Santa Monica by a developer out of Houston on Ocean Park Boulevard. It was a 100,000 square foot office building, and the guy built it up with good tenants and sold it for $22 million. Okay, 1989. Okay, in 1994, I listed it for sale as an REO, and it sold for $6.25 million.
Oh wow!
So from 24 to 6.25.
Wow.
Then that property a few years later sold for 9.5. Then it sold for 17. Then it sold for 27. And the last time it sold, get this, it sold for $64 million.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That was the pandemic, right?
This is right before the pandemic.
Yeah. Perfect timing. Yeah.
Okay. $64 million. So from 22 to 6.25 back to 63 million. So, I mean, that tells you the story about real estate. It's, people say it's location, location, location. I have always said it's timing, timing, timing. The same property either can bankrupt you or can make you millions of dollars. So you got to pick your timing.
Yeah.
That's probably the wildest building that I have followed in my career as to, its lifespan.
Yeah. No, that's very salient to kind of our current real estate situation, because there's a lot of properties, at least up here in San Francisco, that are selling for pennies on the dollar. And I think that's happening in LA also.
We haven't seen too many of those hit the market yet. They should be, but the lenders are sort of reluctant to take them back because they know they're going to take a bath on it. So they are working with the owners, reducing interest rates, just working with them to not to take it over. So we haven't had too many of those. We have the REOs hitting the market, but, there are a couple of examples in downtown LA, 2 buildings. Both of them were bought in 2017, 2018. One was bought for $200 million and recently sold for $100. And the other one was bought for $240 and sold for $120.
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah. No.
So they didn't, because it was institutional owner and they didn't have a loan on it, it didn't become an REO. They just sold for 50% of what they had paid for it like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah,
so it should have been an REO, except for the fact that they didn't have a loan on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there's been examples like that that buildings have sold for a lot less than. I have one example, a building that was bought in 2008 for $9.6 million, and it's probably worth about $8 million now.
Yeah. So it hasn't gone up; it's gone down.
Well, 2008 was actually the recession had already started. Started in September of 2007 when that company went bankrupt. So Lehman Brothers. But then this gentleman bought this property at the tail end of the boom, and we were already into the recession when he bought it, and it's not worth what he paid for it. 16 years ago? So that's what's happened to office buildings. The rents are crashing. People are offering incentives and free rent and TI allowances that can be used against rent and all of that. So it's they're not doing well.
So you're also doing some retail work, and the retail market's pretty good right now, at least up.
Retail market is good. As long as you work with, tenants that are not competing with e-commerce that much. So mostly service rather than regular retail. You do like hair salons and gyms and things that, Amazon can't compete with you yet. I'm sure they're going to get into those businesses also eventually, but I've had luck with service tenants. Restaurants. I have one restaurant listing in Santa Monica on the market. I have 5 offers on it.
Wow.
Wow. Those are the service is doing well.
What about industrial? Are you doing any industrial work?
In the market that I work with, there is no industrial. Every industrial building in this sub-market has been turned into what we call creative office. So we really don't have industrial as in industrial. The industrial market is east of us. You go closer to downtown LA and east of downtown to Vernon and City of Industry and City of Commerce. That's where the industrial starts. But in Southern California, the industrial hub is in Inland Empire, just San Bernardino, Riverside, and they are doing extremely well. A couple of years ago, the vacancy rate was 3%.
Wow.
It's not doing as well. The vacancy rate is up to about 5 or 6%, but office building owners in downtown in LA will kill for that right now, for a 6% vacancy rate. The buildings that have historically been 95% leased are sitting at 60% leased right now.
Oh, wow. So when you were with Grubb, did you do a lot of industrial? Grubb kind of was more in that.
No, as I said, the market that I've been working the past 35 years here in LA does not have industrial.
Oh, okay. So
I take that back. When I first started, one of the first deals that I did was a industrial building. The owner used to build shower doors in that, and then they closed down the business and kept the building. And we leased it to a marketing guy for 60 cents a square foot.
right.
We thought we were leasing an industrial building. The guy turned it into creative space. That
Oh.
space right now will probably lease for $6 a square foot.
Wow.
But we didn't, the creative space was not in our jargon yet. So we did have industrial when I first started. Even Santa Monica had a lot of industrial left in it. But, beginning in the 2000s, there was really no industrial left. Everything had been turned into creative space.
Yeah. It's all converted over now.
Yeah. So we don't, I haven't had a, pure industrial deal in 25 years.
Yeah. Just not there. You got to
It's just not here.
Yeah. To do that. So you have really marketed primarily to the Santa Monica community.
If you're familiar with Los Angeles, 405 freeway goes, splits the west side.
Right.
90% of my deals are west of the 405.
Yeah. Yeah. Towards
So West LA, Brentwood, Santa Monica, going down to the airport, Marina Del Rey, thereabouts. I've done a couple of deals in Beverly Hills. Very few deals, east of Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Have you seen any larger office users coming into that market at all?
Yeah, we do. Two of my colleagues actually recently did a large lease in one of the buildings. There has been some really large deals done in Century City, which is, you're going to get a kick out of this one. Century City right now is the strongest office market in the country.
What?
I've heard.
Yeah.
That has the lowest vacancy rate, the
Wow.
highest rate, and it's doing better than any, like, San Francisco market, for example. Even in LA, it's still doing really well. They are building a new mega high-rise, 400,000 or 500,000 square foot building there.
Really?
And, there have been a couple of major leases, as in like 100, 200,000 square foot leases that have been done in Century City. So yes, there are still leases being done.
Is that because of the film industry?
It's actually, Century City is a hub for law firms. But
okay.
there are law firms, and also there are two of the more major talent agencies.
Oh, yeah.
Are headquartered in Century City. They moved from Beverly Hills to Century City. So those are the ones that are driving the market.
So that's interesting. Attorneys and talent are basically hot right now in terms.
Yeah,
of facing.
and there are a lot of interaction between the two, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Talent agents, every talent agent has an attorney that helps them in drafting contracts and this and the other. So
Wow.
that sub-market is doing extremely well.
Well, that is very, very interesting. Well, Joseph, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, where would they go?
Oh, my email address is my first initial, my last name. So it's jgabbarian@naicapital.com. Or they can feel free to call me on my cell phone. It's 310-801-0676.
So
And if any one of your listeners wants to get on my email database to get my newsletter about Westside real estate, I'll be more than glad to put them on my list.
I want to be on that list, so I'm going to send you my email for sure.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
If you're looking for space in Santa Monica, call Joe.
Or buying properties on the West Side or Southern California, anywhere. I can help them.
Buying, selling, leasing, all of the above.
Yes, sir. I'm the old school. I do, jack of all trades.
That's good. I like that. You and I are similar that way. All right. Well, Joe, this was a very fun conversation. I look forward to interacting with you in the future.
It would be a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.